And so, underneath the moving, changing story on the stage of life is one pure, undivided field of love. One pure, undivided, open field that just is. This field is perfect peace. The openness is spotless love. And this field is eternal in its nature. The eternal nature of being is the unmoving, unchanging. Undisturbable, perfect love that just is. Mm. Mm. In a way, the purpose of the human life is to discover this unchanging field of love. That everything that happens on the wild stage of life has only one purpose. And the purpose is to bring us home to love. Right? The purpose is to bring, I'm not sure what's happening in the field here, but there's some tender hearts. There is only one purpose, and that is to bring us home to love. And that is why to focus upon this love that is always here, to focus upon the love that is always here, is the way to be the love that is always here. That this love is one perfect love. This love is undivided, even though to the me and the mind it seems to be divided into many, many different beings. Love never divides. Love has never divided. It's the one thing that we can absolutely depend upon. Is the undivided perfection of one whole, pure and perfect love. We can find the play of life so confusing, discombobulating, stressful, intense, disappointing, of course, incredibly wonderful and joyful. But in truth, a kind of roller coaster. So what we can depend on is that there is an unmoving, unchanging field of love. And we are one in this love. The remembrance of this brings us to the love that we are, and to the heart, the true heart, the wise heart, the one wise heart that we all share. Mm. When we come to the one wise heart that we all share, we remember the love that we are, the undivided love that we are. And we realize that the whole play of life isn't quite what we have imagined it to be. That the whole play is playing out so that we can know the truth of who we are. That we can discover that underneath all of the things that we think we are, and all of the things that we think are important, the only thing that is important is love, is the remembrance of love. And that living this life in and as love is what we are here for. We're here to love, to be love, to embody this love, shine as this love, to know this love, to realize that there is only this love, and that everything in appearance is this one love. And that is why it takes everything to turn to this love, even when life doesn't seem to be very loving. Even when the mind says, okay, well, that doesn't feel like love. It's to trust the heart's knowing that there is only love, and to stay absolutely focused upon the love in order to receive the grace of the love that is perfect, dawning in the heart as the frequency of remembrance. That there is one glory that is always shining. We could say that the glory is laid out right here for us, and yet we constantly look away from it. But life is playing the way that it plays to invite us to turn towards what we are longing for, what we are here for, to turn towards the wisdom of the heart that knows, to turn towards the self, the one self that just is love. But love isn't what we imagine it to be, not what we expect it to be, because we have been fooled that love is this and love is that. When we really come to love, we are really coming to a surrendered openness. We're coming to the base note, the pure note, the unchangeable, the unstruck sound. We're coming to the purity when we really come to love. We're coming to that where we can go no further. There's nowhere else to go. This love cannot be taken. Everything else can disappear, but this love can go nowhere. And yet we can spend so much time focusing upon what can be taken, when in truth, all that matters is the love that can never be taken. Underneath all of the seeming differences, we are one in love, and we find all beings in the heart of love. We find all beings in our very own heart. When we know the love that we are, we know that there is only love. And it's as if we know all beings, so familiar, so intimate, because it doesn't so much matter about all of the personality and characteristics. What matters is where we are one, the love, the presence of being, where we are one. This is what truly matters. And this is what the whole life is conspiring to bring us into the remembrance of. It's as if we are being filtered, sifted, distilled out of this whole scope of a landscape that seems so vast and complicated. And we are being filtered to one singular fine point, to pass one-pointedly, wholeheartedly into the frequency of remembrance of the love that we are, so that we can shine, radiantly shine as the true being that just is. Mm. The thing is that we cannot make this happen with the power of the mind. It's all about just dropping into the stillness, into the silent presence, into the love that is, the wide open field. You find everything is here. Everything is here. Everyone is here. Every color is here, shining radiantly. There's a fullness here. A fullness that the heart recognizes, that the heart knows. And it's right here in the stillness, in the silence, in the simple presence of being. Return to yourself, return to love, return to wholeness, return to the timeless, simple being, return to the source of all that is. And we realize that we have never become anything, that we have always been exquisitely whole. We have always been wide open, perfect love. And here there is peace, an undisturbable peace. It is not about doing anything on the surface of life, flurrying around, trying to make this happen, make that happen. It's about the stop. It's about just being. That the story doesn't matter. The play doesn't matter. In truth, we're here to see through every story, every story. We're here to see through the story of me, the story of separation. We're here to let the curtain fall on all of that and actually be the vibrant, extraordinary flow of life that is always free, that is eternal, unbounded, the most incredible light and grace. We're here to discover what we have always been, what never changes, and what is truly our deepest longing. That when we really allow ourselves to open to what is the deepest longing, if there was no bars on the possibilities created by the mind, no restrictions, no can'ts, don'ts, no sense of undeservedness, unworthiness, unlovableness. What is the greatest longing? And do we dare to open to the greatest longing? All that we are ever really longing for is our very own self. All that we are really longing for is to be the love and know the love that we are, and to actually be fully expressed as this love. We long to be fully expressed, to not be held back, to hold nothing back. It can be very shocking, surprising to realize how much we actually hold back, right? What if this is it? What if this is your last chance, this moment, right? How much is stashed away in there that doesn't get expressed, that's protected? This is your last moment, and this is your chance to just let it come forward. Any being would just want to let the fullness of the heart, the fullness of the love that we are, just splash forward everywhere, right? To not be holding on to resentments and grudges, not be holding on, holding back. To actually be the beacon of love that we are here to be the radiant shining light that we are here to just truly love, and to love all that we are, and to stop being so unkind to ourselves, right? Stop allowing that mind that can be so cruel, to stop believing and allowing that whole dialogue to be a limiting factor, to just let go into the wilds of love, to be fully expressed, to not feel like there are regrets, right? That it's right here on the surface of life, the light, the love that you are, that you're not pushing it back, trying to shape it, control it, that you are the living life force right on the surface of life, fully animated from the wellspring, without filters and limitations and restrictions. So we say so often, you already are perfect. You already are the love. You already are the wholeness. There's nothing to achieve, nothing to aim for, no goals, nothing to want, because you already are. It's just to live this. It's to realize that you already are. So much of the life can be just so frozen in protection, while the heart is just longing to explode and live its fullness. And what can happen is that we stay focused upon the story of limitation. Well, I really want that, but here, I'll tell my story of why I can't do that and what all the problems with me are. instead of realizing, okay, you know what? I just keep telling that story again and again and again. What if I just don't tell that story? What if I stop telling that story? What if I stop defining myself with all these limiting factors? What if I keep illuminating every moment where I limit and put myself in the shadows and believe the shadow story to be true? What if I just start living the radiant, shining light of the heart? What if I am the being fully expressed in this moment? What would it be like to just be completely free, to move freely, just to notice, oh, what is limiting me now? What is holding me back? Why wouldn't I? Right? To shift the perspective to the idea that, well, I have all these problems and these limitations, and I've got to work on them in order to be. Shift to be the being, and then notice when something comes in. Shift the perspective to be living the wilds of the love that you are. And then notice, okay, some kind of limitation is here. I'm meeting a restriction. I'm meeting a holding place. Can I open to that? Can I keep opening to these holding places? Can I keep shining the light? In a way, it is just to be here now. To be here now as the radiant presence of being, and just keep watching as life unfolds. And as you watch, as the awareness keeps you shining the light naturally. It's not a doing. To keep shining the light is natural. Oh, now I see that I just moved to protection. I just moved to limitation. Okay, what would it be like to move from the truth of the heart, to express the yes, the holy yes, or express that wild no way, instead of kind of trying to feel out the environment and then contorting yourself to be what you think you have to be? What if this moment is the moment to stop trying to fit yourself into the ideas of who you think you should be, and to actually just be yourself? The truth is, even the ideas of who you think you need to be for others are all only your own ideas. It's an internal conversation. It's the mind's imaginings. I can't do this, I shouldn't do that. Well, if I do that, that will happen. It is all an internal conversation. And what happens if you shine the light upon that? Open up to illuminate all of the ways. You are the love. You are the wild, perfect love. Pure and simple, plain and free. There is nothing holding you back but the belief that you are held back, that you are limited. There is so much that keeps us just cycling around in the mind. All of the ideas that the mind believes and all of the ideas that the mind takes on. All of the work that needs to happen. But the truth is, it's about a shift in perspective to be the love. To be so focused upon the love. Love, 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 love. Only love. Absolute surrender, 24/7 surrender. Let love have all of you. Let love live you. Be the love that you are. There was a song that said, you have to give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and the laughter, right? You have to give yourself to love. Hand yourself right over to what you are longing for. And of course, love is the glory. Love is the divine. To give yourself to what you are longing for. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to God. Give yourself to the glory that is longed for. Without knowing what that means, without knowing how. It's just that the heart is so full of this longing. This is all that is important. Allowing what is important to be important. It's so compelling for the mind to stay miserable. So compelling for the mind to keep identifying with the story of small, the story of limitation, the story of deficiency, the story of lack. Let love shake you awake right out of that story, right out of the ideas that there's all these things you have to fix about yourself. The residues of the human life fix themselves, they clear themselves, they purify themselves in the presence of love. There's nothing to be done, nothing to be fixed, nothing to do, but to be the love that you are, to be here now as the wide open presence of being, the timeless presence of now. There are so many configurations of the story of lack, so many configurations of the story that there is something wrong with me. And if we trace back every protection, we will most likely find that this is the story, the same story playing again and again. Make it a game, have fun, be aware, watch, and just notice. Here's a protection, here's a resistance. Can you find how this is the same story of lack, the same fear, the same sense of cause and effect? If I do this, this is what will happen. And usually that will mean I will lose love, I will lose connection. I won't be seen the way I want to be seen. It's all the same story playing in a gazillion different configurations. But once we start to notice and start opening to be aware and watch, see how the same story is playing. See how committed the mind is to trying to hold this deep-rooted protection in place. It's all born out of the needs met structure. We learned to get our needs met in dysfunction, in dysfunctional relationships, in dysfunctional dynamics. And so we're so committed to the dysfunction. We're so committed to being afraid. We're so committed to being deficient and lacking. Something wrong with me. And it's when we shine the light and we're so open to see the narratives that are unconsciously playing in the mind and how we just automatically believe it, and we just live in assumption, and we just move constantly in this assumption. A questioned life is a life that is free. We have to question everything, illuminate everything, watch every move that your character makes. Watch it, see it in the light, and keep loving as the presence of awareness. Keep loving it all, being that loving presence, the presence of being. Notice that the presence of being never changes, never judges, never has opinion, never ever wavers in the face of all that can happen on the stage of life. However much drama and intensity the character can be seemingly experiencing, however much fear, if we do not waver and we stay in the presence, committed, sincere, and focused upon the love that we are, the love that we're longing for, that only love is real, only God is real. The world has nothing for you. To stay absolutely committed to this truth, and this truth being known in the heart, the constant surrender into this, it bears fruit. And the mind can be the bar humbug that says, well, I don't know that, I don't know that. No, you don't know that because you've never given yourself so completely fully to it. But what you can be sure of is if you ask the beings that have given themselves fully to it, they will testify that you give yourself to love if that's what you're after, and love will give itself to you. Love will fill you up, every nook and cranny, crack and crevice, every open space you will find is absolutely filled to the brimstone, overflowing, saturated with perfect love, until you are shining in the knowing of who you are. And all of the things that you think are wrong with you start to disappear. They disappear as the illusion that they've always been. Suddenly they're just not here anymore. Suddenly it's all disappearing because your focus is upon the love that you are. The focus is upon the glory of God, the divine, the purity that you are. Yes, you unworthy little urchin, right? You are the glory of God in reality. And so it's to allow the story of the unworthy urchin to be seen through, to see through all of the stories of unworthiness, unlovableness, brokenness, something wrong with me, I've done something wrong, I am bad, I'm not good. To open up to your goodness, the great glorious goodness of who you are. Allow the one that believes the stories to be true to be met in the presence of love. That love loves the one who believes they are broken. Love loves the one that believes they have done something wrong. And it is in the presence of love that the story falls away. The story is seen through because the presence of love is the true power. It is the power, it is the glory. It is the great alleluia that every heart already knows and that every heart is longing to sing at this fine frequency. It's not about changing the story. It's not about healing the me. It's not about fixing. The one who thinks they have to be fixed has to be handed over to love, even on a stretcher. Hand that one over to love, right? The unfixable one, the broken one, the one that there's no hope for. Hand that one over, right? Let the redeeming power of love bring the truth alive in the heart. It is your faith in love. It is your faith in the glory that is the great Redeemer. Nothing outside of you is the Redeemer. Your own faith, the love that you are, is the great Redeemer. When you are one with what you belong to, when you are one with the source of all, when you are one with the principle, then you are filled with the glory of that principle of light. You are filled with all that that one is, right? You cannot take it away and make it yours. You cannot take love. You cannot take the fullness of perfect love and make it yours and have it all for yourself. You can only be the perfect love, docked in the heart of perfect love. Right? You see the great power imbalance. It has no power because it is not docked in love. It might play out on the surface of life as, oh, here's the power. But when power is essentially an imbalance and the root of that power is fear, it has no power. It has no power. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? Behind the curtain. It's just a frightened little boy or girl, a frightened little being behind a curtain with a big voice and a lot of big ideas, but an absolutely broken, unworthy heart, right? The only power is love. The power of love is supreme. It's not in a battle to win. It's already victorious. Love has never left itself. Love is perfect and whole eternally. And it is just about this return to the perfect love that you are. And how do we return? We return quite simply by absolutely being one with the faith, the knowing of the heart that knows that love is. Love is. As long as we stay identified with the idea, well, I'm not worthy of that and I need to work harder, I need to fix these things. It's just not true. Everything refines and transmutes in the presence of love. It will never come to wholeness without the presence of love. It will seem to maybe improve and give the me a better experience of itself, but there will always be a wall to hit because a maze, the maze of the mind, is full of walls, and the walls are the disappointments that we just keep running into if we don't stay absolutely focused upon the faith, the knowing of the being that we have within, and keep saying yes to the love, yes to the love, yes to the love, yes to the love, yes to the love. Whatever is happening can be so much intensity. We can hear the mind saying, you've got to fix this, you've got to do something about this. Do you realize what's going to happen if you don't do something about this? Terrible things are going to happen. And those terrible things are either that you're going to lose your mind, you're going to lose your health, or you're going to lose your family, your friends, connection. You're going to lose everything. You're going to definitely lose what you think you need. And what are you going to be then, right? What are you going to be then? So here's the mind with such a convincing story, and you're pacing around. I want to say yes to love. I want to say yes to love, but oh my God, I've got to fix these things. These are the critical moments. These are the crucial moments. The moments where staying absolutely still, seeing the story, seeing the mind, seeing how convincing it is, recognizing that that feeling of intensity is asking you to fix me, fix me, fix me, but to stay rooted and say, you do not need fixing, my love. Love is here. You are held. You are held. And all that is happening in the mind, if we just bring it to the level of sensation, We have stories floating around, stories floating around. Come to the sensation. We meet the sensation, the aliveness. As we meet the aliveness, the focus shifts from identifying with the mind story to the aliveness, the sensation, focusing with the sensation. Something starts to shift. We're totally focused, feeling the energy, the sensation. What is this? And suddenly we've shifted from this really intense story and fear to just the sensation, the nervous system, the energy, the aliveness. And as we stay completely present and we allow everything that's happening in the nervous system, all of the sensations to be here, and we meet it all as the presence that is watching, holding, and truly feeling like an intimacy with sensation, with aliveness, the intricacies. Things start to shift. Stay aware, watch. If the attention wants to go back up to the mind, just watch, listen. What does that thought want to say? What does the thought want to say? What are the pictures that are coming, right? Just watch it all and don't move. Feel the sensation. When we shift the attention to the sensation starts to decompress, diffuse, open up. In the presence of love, everything starts to transmute and turn into its true self. You allow the sensation, and it's like a distillery. We move from the most incredible stress and fear through the sensation, getting subtler and subtler and subtler, until all that we can feel is the presence of being. The love that's here, the openness that's here. And we filtered like a triangle, right? We filtered from the big, wide craziness and diversity. We filtered right down to the point of being. And we've remembered the truth of who we are. And we've, in a way, the body vehicle, the nervous system is the distillery. We filtered it through the nervous system. And we realize how powerful we are, that we have the power to filter the greatest stresses and sensations through the nervous system and bring it all to the remembrance of love. And ultimately, this is what we are longing for. This is what we are longing for, is to remember this love, to be this love, to live as this love, to shine and to love as this love, to meet our companions as this love, to love, to embody this love, to bring this love right to the surface of life, and to know that this love is eternal, this love is free, this love is forever, right? And this love is the wide open heart that is the self, is the being. This is what we are longing for. So what we are longing for, let us keep our focus upon it and realize what we are longing for. Truly realize what we are longing for. When we open to the longing so fully, we realize that fulfillment is here because the longing doesn't even belong to you. Just as the love doesn't belong to you, we could say the love of God, that you feel that it's your love for God. But the love of God is freer than that. The love of God is the love of God. It's the love of God in your heart. It's love, the love that you are. We could turn it around and say it's God's love for you. But there is no you and God that is separate. It's just the love of God. You are the love of God. So to open to the love of God is to open to the love of God. And here, the realization that love is God. God is love. And you are one with this love, this glory that is. And any spark of remembrance of this is where this surrender happens. The knowing, the faith that says only this love is real, only the divine is real. There's nothing apart from love, nothing apart from the divine. Even if there can be a sense with the me that might say, I don't know how that's true, but something here knows it. Stay with that faith. Let that faith be the arrow that shoots all of your attention right into the heart of love. You shoot all that you have imagined yourself to be right into the heart of wholeness. You fire yourself, right? Catapult yourself into the wild heart of grace. Give yourself to love. If love is what you're after, give yourself. Shoot yourself right like a one-pointed arrow into the heart of love. Merge with, dissolve into, remember the fine frequency of the love that you are, the love that is eternal, the love that is ever free, the love that we are one in, one love, one heart, one incredible peace, the Shanti heart, the blissful heart, the great glorious heart that is. And here we collapse into the eternal life. We know that breath will come as long as breath comes. And when breath does no longer come to the body, that life still lives on as love eternal, life eternal, that we are one in the heart. Nothing changes here. Nothing has ever changed. We do not come and go. Here, you have always been just as you are. You have never changed. You have never left yourself. You have always been just as you are. And here that is known. And the knowing is the heart. The knowing is the love that is one. Everything and everyone is known in the heart of love. Nothing is lost in the heart of God. Nothing is lost. Nothing can be lost in the heart of God. There is a fullness here that is whole, whole, perfectly whole. As we enter the silence of the heart, we remember the silence of eternity. And the silence of the eternal heart is expressed on the surface of life as love, as compassion, perfect love, boundless compassion. So we have only to enter the silence of eternity that is here now in the presence of being, simple and free. Just to be here as yourself. Nothing to do, nothing to change. Just to recognize the knowing of what is true. Just to remember and attune to the fine frequency of the one heart that knows, the all that is, the ever free, ever present. The ever present being, the all that is. Just to rest here, just as you are. Recognize the frequency of knowing. The frequency of knowing is the glorious faith. And just to rest here. Everything else is being taken care of. There's nothing for you to do. That is the great glorious celebration. Life is living itself. It's the shift in perspective that brings you to the remembrance and the allowance. What an incredible relief just to be here and to watch as the character moves. Just keep watching, shining the light and loving that one with all that you are. Recognize that you are the love that loves that one. Love that one when they are being critical. Love that one when they're in intensity. Love that one when they're having a great day. Love that one when they're having a bad day. Love that one when they're doing good stuff, doing bad stuff. Love that one when they've got it wrong. Love that one when they're getting it right. Just love that one. Be the love that loves that one until you discover that you're the love, that you're not that one, right? It's all one. It doesn't matter what the character does. Just keep loving that one. Keep loving that one when they're being unkind, when the voice of the mind is so cruel and judgmental. Be the love that loves all of it. Be so wide, so open that you include everything. Everything is included. You're such an enormous, holy, almighty yes that you include everything. Just keep loving it all. And loving it all is not about creating a mood. It's about recognizing that there is a presence here that does not judge, that is undisturbable, and that it never ever goes anywhere. It's the aware presence. Let this aware presence just keep loving and loving and loving. Just being open and open and open. Allowing naturally life to just be as it is. Shift the perspective and be the aware presence of love. Just watching it all, watching every move that the character makes. That you're not limited to the character. You are the wide open field. Just keep loving that one. Just like you would love a favorite pet, right? It's like having a pet, having a character. Just keep loving that one, compassionately, wholeheartedly, loving that one. Whatever happens, know that you are the love. You are the wide open heart. And here you are ever free. The silent heart is an eternally free heart. The heart that is at peace is a free heart, is a humble heart. The quiet heart is the free heart. The simple heart is the free heart. Just to be the simple, free, wide open heart of love that you are in truth. Nothing is limiting you but the thoughts that you believe in. If you believe that there is limitation, then you will feel the impact of that. You will create that as the reality. But it's not the reality. It's an appearance. The reality is an eternal, divine, wide open field of empty bliss. And so just resting here just as you are. What are you noticing? How are you feeling? Can you feel the resonance of remembrance in the silence of being? Just resting here. Nothing else needs to happen. In the resting here, just to feel the wide openness that is the love that can never be lost, can never be taken, is ever free, ever full, and ever true. This eternal love that just loves. To stop and be here and just to bask here in the light, the love light, the radiance of your own heart shining in the knowing, just to bask in your own radiance. This moment here now. Yes to love. 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 Yes to the love that you are. Yes to the love that is here, this wide open field. Yes, to yourself, to your fullness, to your wholeness. Yes, to the silence, to the stillness. Yes, to the knowing that knows who you are. Not trying to make sense of anything, just yes to the quiet, to the calm, that still small voice of calm. Yes, yes, yes. Mm.